Are you frustrated by the medical system? Are you you've gone a couple places and maybe like me, someone tapped you on the shoulder. Maybe you have anxiety and depression and you know in your body, you're like, this is not right. Something is not right. And of course, you probably got on Google and it's telling you you're dying from cancer. Then you go to another doctor and maybe something similar happened, or they dismissed you or ran blood work and everything looks semi normal. And you're feeling like, damn, I'm going crazy. I am. What is going on? I hear you. I see it all the time. It's so frustrating, but let's have a little hope. Let's dig into this today. Eek. Hey, everyone. How are you? Take a moment. Let's just breathe. Are you holding your breath? That little intro might have got you riled up. I get it because it gets me riled up even just talking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm about to go off here, but I'm not. We're just going to have a little conversation. And if you're watching on YouTube, which we've started doing, you might see I might have cream cheese in my teeth. For lunch, I had a burger patty and some vegetables, but I wanted to spice it up a little and not just eat like a plain burger patty. So I put just a little dabble of cream cheese on there. And if you've never tried that, ooh, it is delicious. I highly recommend it. Back to the show. So if you follow me on Instagram, I got into this a little bit in one of my stories, but you only have like 60 seconds on the stories. And if you don't follow me and you want to learn more and see a little behind the scenes on my life, follow me at Dr. Audra Lance. I had promised you I would either share it on the podcast or in the TikTok world about these two stories that happened yesterday. And so I'm going to do both because I understand some people are more into podcasting. I understand some people are more into the TikTok talking. So we're just going to cover all our bases here to help everyone out. I know from the feedback on the podcast, you guys love a variety of things that we're already doing. But one of the things that keeps coming up is ask Audra anything in client stories, because a lot of you out there can relate to some of this stuff. And maybe you're actually going through it right now. So I'm going to tell you two client stories today, and they both happened yesterday. It was meant to share, right? Okay. I also think there is a common misconception out there that, excuse me, getting all riled up, that the rich and famous, they have access to everything. Their health is superb. Everyone's perfect, everything. And I just want to debunk that myth a little bit. That's not true. Even if they're flying around to high paid docs, frustrating things still happen to them. And they are still a lot of times seeking the answers that you're seeking. We're all on kind of a level playing field here of frustration with the medical system, frustration with lack of answers, frustration with dismissal from doctors, frustration of doctors just being overwhelmed and overworked. And this is not what they thought they were getting into when they were like, I'm going to grow up and be a doctor and help people. So frustration all around. Let's just roll down the hill in the frustration. Let's start with the first client. Super famous, probably know who they are. Has gone around the country, LA docs, national docs, you name it, gotten some blood work done. And they sent over the blood work to me because they're like, we want you to look at it too, Also common misconception. Chiros have education in how to read blood work. And sometimes if they're not comfortable with it, they'll let you know. Like, hey, not my thing. But we did learn that in school. And blood work is an important component at the cellular level to your healing. Especially if you're not getting better in 2 to 3 visits, we got to dig deeper and be like, all right, is this more of a chemical thing versus a mechanical thing? So there you go. Then, so I get the blood work, sat down with them yesterday, and I just started explaining it. I was like, this is this, this is this. I know they're super into cars. So I related the blood work to cars and what that means based on whatever it was, your liver enzymes, your vitamin D, how that feeds. And that makes, blood sugar, I don't remember the exact thing, but you know what I mean. And I just put it all together in a way that they would be able to understand it. And I said, I'm here in this Porsche riding along with you. I am your support. I am your team. Like, let's do this. There is hope. I mean, hope, help. Like, you can be fine. And they go, Audra, no one has sat down and explained this to us. No one. They just loaded up in the portal. Here you go. And these are like within normal limit labs, even though it's like barely for one thing or something. And they're just like, oh, you're good. No explanation. Okay, why do I feel like this? Or is there a reason I feel like this? What can we do? And putting it all together, it was just like, nah. And I mean, that happens with me all the time. I know that happens with my parents. That happens with my patients. It's just that's for some reason. I think they're trying to be efficient. I think there's a purpose behind it. But not everyone can read blood work and not everyone can put it together. So people are left confused and feel crazy about if they're feeling a certain way. So once again, keep advocating for yourself. This is my whole point behind everything, and that there's help, there's options. And if you're going through that or haven't had blood work explained to you, there's people out there who can do that. My office offers virtual appointments with doctors who can help consult with you or first visit with you. If we can help you, that's great. If not, part of your visit and that fee is we find someone in your area to do that because we know what to look for with certifications, people we know. It just becomes a small world in medicine. So there is hope out there, okay? And I know it's frustrating to spend the time, money, go try to find someone. So let us do it for you. Then, 2, some high attorney, incredible person. Long story short, I feel like this whole injury will be a podcast, but we're not there yet. Woke up on a plane, fell asleep on a plane, Southwest Airlines. You know, you just quick flight, let's go to sleep. They couldn't lift their arm. Could not lift their arm. Haven't been able to use their arm. Essentially, if you've ever heard of Bell's palsy in your face, where it like droops and nerve, it was that in their arm. And I had seen this person back when I first opened my practice. So 10 years ago, saw for a different injury, got them better, haven't seen them in a while. And they had messaged me, hey, this is what I got going on. I know you guys were able to help me before. I don't know if this is too deep of something that you guys aren't comfortable working with. But basically, oh my gosh, I have no hope. I've been to like 3 doctors and they all just said, we don't know what to do. And one was like, we could try surgery, but we're not sure. And I mean, talk about walking into some pressure. And you're like, oh no. And you're like, all right. So go in, evaluate. And we meet as a team because I can't always be there. I have incredible doctors that are part of Spine and Sport. We're on the same page. We take care of our people. We have weekly meetings. We discuss everything, every case. We push each other. That's one of my favorite parts of it is we're constantly pushing each other to be in that uncomfortable spot to grow. And it's pretty freaking fun. So when we had a treatment plan as an office and one of us would be there furthering along. And of course, we need to look again at something like that, the underlying chemical component. Is it viral? Is it bacterial? Is there something awry? And stress. Stress. Because if you have a little bit of a viral or bacterial component and then you add stress or a crazy stressful situation, a death, a divorce, I mean, even getting a new job, having a kid, I mean, whatever sends your stress hormones a whack, that can like flare things up and bring stuff out. And we're still working on that part. But in 6 weeks, I walked in there yesterday. They were essentially in tears. I can't thank you enough. Look what I'm doing. And if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. They couldn't pick up their arm, like their fingers were pointing down. They couldn't even lift to make like a stop sign before. They're doing that. They were able to do a little weight workout that morning. And they were just like, I am so thankful for you in your office. You told me everything straight up. You had all these different directions we could go depending on what progress you saw or didn't see. You had a plan in place and you all communicated back and forth. You all knew what was going on when you stepped in that room. And I'm so thankful. Like, look where I am. I have hope again. I'm going to be fine. And it's just incredible. I mean, this is what we live for. Helping people all like, I'm losing my words because it's just so incredible. And in that moment, of course, I started crying because I couldn't help myself. But this just goes to show, like, we need to keep advocating for yourself. Keep going. Keep trying to find someone else. And it's not necessarily that doctor's fault who you went to. Y- If you're going to a surgeon, they're going to want to do surgery. Simple as that. That's what they learn. That's their expertise. That's what they know. If you're going to a dermatologist and going to ask them about your foot and why you have foot and heel pain, they're not going to, like they have some courses in that, but that is not their specialty. That's not where they spent all their time. Just like if you come to us, we're not going to be able, we don't know everything. Just like I told both patients, listen, I know my lane. I know what I'm really good at. I know what this office is really good at. But sometimes we need to add more lanes and find the people who are really good at what they do and work together and just drive that little Porsche in all the lanes to get where we're going. Ooh, that was a good one. Good reference. I hope that makes sense to you because usually I just don't make sense half the time because I'm really terrible at English, even though it's my only language. Thank you. Keep advocating, keep fighting for yourself. There are people out there who want to help you. And I'm sorry this medical system is so hard to navigate. It is for doctors too. There is hope. And if you're going through any of those situations right now, once again, keep fighting. You got this. And if you're struggling with neck pain, back pain, foot pain, elbow pain, wrist pain, hand pain, and you're like, I need relief today. This has already cost me this much time, or I haven't been able to do this, such as comfortably drive to work, which I need to go to work, so I have to do that, or be able to play with my kids or my dog, or I haven't been able to go on a run, which, hello, stress reliever. Whatever it may be that you're not able to do, how long are you going to let it happen? Go to mytrainingroom.co, the link will be in the show notes, and get a game plan. At least that'll get you started with some exercises that you can use to find yourself relief. And if that doesn't fix it, you're at least on the path before you find your perfect provider that's going to help you. I hope you have the most wonderful day. Take another second, breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Good. And try to breathe super deep into your butthole and relax. Hopefully that calms you down a little bit. We don't need to be getting all turned. You got this.